Hello everyone, it's Eon here. I hope your month of August is going well for you. Mine has been pretty crazy, but that's because I've chosen to do some extra things at work than normal. So we're going to look at the mid-August updates here, and this is only going to be what's been different from the previous video. I don't want to bore you again with me commenting on the same miniatures over and over again. So please just feel free to go watch the other video and then come back to this one. I may record a new one putting them all together if there's a huge demand for that, but you put the videos together, you can see them. I would like to point out before we get started here that MyMiniFactory is doing their summer sale. This is through the September 9th. And using the code SUMMER24, you can apparently save up to 50% on miniatures on the website, depending on which tribe, which Patreon, which creator you're getting those STLs from. This is a great opportunity and chance to go in and get things a little bit higher. Some of these tribes, I believe, are probably putting out their own codes on top of this, so and it's probably better. I think it's the better code is the way it works, but definitely the time to stock up if you haven't. First up, we're going to look at Ghamak. Ghamak has finally released some of the renders and releases. In fact, they just released some this morning, right before I recorded this. So we're going to look at, there's the entire August release for Fantasy. Notice they have the little moniker in the side, compatible with one-page rules, or OPR. So they have not released detailed renders of the Empire of Mankind Wolf Knights that you can see down there in the bottom, but they have released some updated images of the orcs of the Howling Steppes. They have a chieftain and arquebands with bow. So I believe this is the chieftain here. Comes with a few different weapon options, and there you can see how he is assembled. And they have a unit of bowmen as well, so lots of different characters there for you to look at. These can be put together in lots of different ways. You can see these are a very modular set of miniatures, and they come with bases as well. Now, I'm all about dwarves, so it's always fun to see the dwarves. Here we have a dwarven flamethrower and a dragon slayer. And we have a set of berserkers as well. Goonmaster Games has released another image. I'm assuming this is a release for Fantasy and not, for the month of August, not for the month of September. It could be a preview, and if so, I apologize, but these are their pesky porcupines they've been working on. Grimoire Games, or Great Grimoire, excuse me. Wow, I did a different double G there. Great Grimoire has the Flotsam Tides released this month, so very stylized characters here. I think I could see the influences here. There's a couple of influences going on here. But we have Elara Swiftwind. And notice that all three of these releases also come with a bust if you prefer to testing your painting skills that way. And then we have Dorian Silverhand Reed, as well as Edward Ironhook Drake. He's lost both a foot and a hand. Poor fella. Highlands Miniatures has given us previews, but now they've actually given us a lot more renders and actual prints of their miniatures. So again, there is the entire list of everything that they are releasing for this month, along with a picture of everything. But let's look at these. So this is the Sunken Pharaoh's Funeral Ship and Guard. And one thing about Highlands Miniatures, I love seeing the actual print of their miniatures and not just the render. So being able to see the actual miniatures printed out, I really like the way they print these. I need to know their methods. We have the Eternal Pharaoh on Big Chariot. We have the Mounted Ancient Guard Command Group on Great Snakes, and I believe the Great Snakes can be printed separately. That's listed as a separate thing on their release, but you'll notice that there's not a separate image of them. And this is just Mounted Ancient Guard, again on these ancient snakes, or great snakes. I believe these are wadjets. I don't know enough Egyptian mythology, sadly, and apparently a wadjet is like a snake, winged snake. I think it's actually a winged snake, but I may be wrong there. But that's what we see going on here. I'm pretty sure that's what we're seeing here. Eternal Pharaoh's Banner. Some sand vultures. Lots of dangly bits with those guys. And then the Eternal Scorpion. It may just be me, and this is my childhood, but he, to me, reminds me of Dungeon Master from the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon. Now that I've said that, you may not unsee that, sorry. I'm not exactly sure how to say the name of this one. M3 Dojosion. It's like Imposion, but Impression. M3 Dojosion. I'm oversaying it, sorry. They are releasing in August some various wood elf sort of creatures. So we have several different Ints. And I don't know what all of these are called, so I'll just be quiet. I do like the saber-tooth elven cat. One Page Rules has released more renders and updates for the month of August. Their big diorama, their big legendary, is the Saurian Deinonychus diorama, which we see here. Now, they do Saurians both in fantasy and science fiction. This is their fantasy version of that release. For Age of Fantasy Quest, we have the War Daemon Barbarian. Here we see actually a full updated render of all of their Shadow Stalkers that they have released for the month, and here are some close-ups of these. I do believe that is their great horror is what they call that. And of course some gaming aids and themed bases that go along with that. Some objectives, dice, and a ruler. The Printing Goes Ever On has released a little bit more imagery of their release. They again are doing their birthday month. And so this month they are doing the Tales of the Elven Kingdoms Volume 2. And they do have early access that if you want to do the dual tier and get both the RPG release as well as the, we'll call it war game release, you could get those as well. Now notice there's lots of options with their customizer as to how you can print these elves. And there's the terrain that they're releasing as well. So this is just showing you all the different sorts of elves you can create using their customizer. Lots of different types of horses that can be used, capes, various body shapes and heads. And there's more options than I can even show here, accessories and so forth that go along with this. The weapons choices are very, very varied, but definitely an interactive app. Now, next up, we have Terrain Essentials. Now, I often am adding in new Patreons and tribes throughout, but I put the new moniker on this one because it's brand new to the scene. If you want to get in on the ground level of a brand new Patreon or a brand new tribe, get Terrain Essentials. Now, this is actually coming to us through Cast and Play. So, Cast and Play's Terrain Essentials monthly tribe has released their first release, and there is everything that we see, which is the Medieval Market. Traveler's Guide, the Medieval Market. That is the Medieval Market set for this month, and that is everything that we see. It also includes a printable PDF map. But just to kind of focus in on it, this is selection number 1, the books stand. So we see both a render of it on the right, and I believe it is an actual print that we see on the left. For release number 2, we see the magic stand. Release number 3 is the music stand. Release number 4 is the protein cart. A butcher, if you would. Number 5 is just some generic market scatter of various sorts. Tables and carts and barrels and bonfires and signs. So if you want to get in from the beginning, this is the month to do it. TPK Lab has released actual renders of their miniatures here. Before, I think we had more concept art, but here are the 3 hero releases that we're getting for the month. So we have Kimmy, the Tiefling Enchanter with sword, Roberto, the Veilbound, and Crispin, the Holy Knight. In addition to those 3 miniatures, we also have a Dragon Gate Empire, a bust of Kimmy, and a dragon statue with ancient items. White Werewolf Tavern has also released several renders of their release. This month's release for August is the Iron King. So, naturally, we have the Iron King. Chow, I believe would be how you would probably say that. The Zoo Iron Lady. The Jester Killer set. Homunculus set. Getting a lot of Malifaux vibes from this. The Dead Assassin set. And they do have a couple of busts of some of the miniatures done up for you as so you may wish. Anyway, that is the update for the fantasy release. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.